that an octopus in your pants, or are you just happy to see me? See what I did there? Go Red Wings! From Octopi Experts Woodward Sports.
Thriller after dark on Halloween Eve, baby. Come
Oh man.
on.
Oh man.
Wow. All right. That game, up and down, left and right, goaltender interference to take us to the promised land. That was electric game. I can't lie. I love the way that the Wings continued to battle time after time.
Time after time.
They did not say die. They continued. They played hard the entire game, even when they took the penalties, which really hurt them in the end of the third period. They still bounced back, continued to keep humming, and that's to this team. This team really continues to push forward through all those tough breaks when last year you would see them fold, and that's what I love to continue to see from this team.
Yeah, you love to see it, and we saw a couple guys like Marco Casper finally got in the back of the net. He got 2 of those. I love to see that. Cam Talbot stepped up big time when you needed him to, especially in the shootout. Lucas Raymond with a nasty move to get the 1 goal in the shootout between the 2 teams. So, yeah, it's the National Hockey League. Like, it's hard to find wins on the road, especially when you're going on a California trip. You're going all the way to the West Coast, and now the Red Wings have won back-to-back road games. First in St. Louis, and now in L.A. Obviously, they play again tonight. Who do they play? The Ducks tonight, or
They play the Ducks tonight. Gibby's return.
Gibby's return? Oh yeah, there we go. So the boys are gonna want to win this one for Gibby, but It was great, and John Effing Lord in the chat says Casper looked great last night, and he absolutely did. And he's looked great all season. Like, he's been doing a lot of things to look very good. He just hasn't gotten in the back of the net, and I was happy to see him get a couple. Obviously, that's my guy. And, so Red Wings are looking good. They're back. We're back, baby. But shout out to them. Shout out to getting that big dub.
Let's start right there. I mean, Casper and DeBrincat have found their stride. They are Cat in particular is red hot. As soon as he saw that first one go in the back of the net, he's got a goal in every game. Another snipe. And what I said last night is they both are setting up in their offices. They're respectfully. Casper and DeBrincat. DeBrincat setting up on his wing, making sure that he's there for those one-timers to be in those danger areas. And then Marco Casper sets up in front of the net. Really becomes that physical presence in those gritty areas. A great tip on the shot by ASP, and then, charging in that, getting into the dirty area to hit that backdoor pass, and which is a beautiful tic-tac-toe. I do like what Appleton's bringing there. I think he's been very solid playing on their wing in Kane's absence. Yeah. Obviously, he's no Patrick Kane offensively, but just being in a support role to help Cat and Casper play well, I think that's huge for them. And they've been playing some great hockey over these last couple games. I love what that line's giving you right now.
Absolutely, and you've seen like Mason Appleton kind of take the Casper role and Casper take the Patrick Kane role. He's had to be much more of a playmaker, much more of a guy setting up DeBrincat and putting him in spots where he's going to get the good goals. So that has been a great thing to see, is the evolution of his game. And Steve O'Baby in the Woodward Sports chat said, Spencer, that overtime no goal was huge for the Red Wings. I thought it was over, but I realized it was no goal. I was talking to my dad this morning. He was like, yeah, it sucks. The Red Wings lost in overtime last night. I was like, no, they won in a shootout. He was like, what? I was like, yeah, that goal got overturned in overtime. That's kind of a hockey gods type of scenario, kind of like you're hot, here's some extra magic for you on the road. Obviously the goaltender interference to overturn that goal was huge, but yeah, like you said, man, that second line, even without Patrick Kane, is catching its stride. And with the first line doing what it's been doing so far, they're just going to be a nasty top 6 when you look at it from top to bottom. We knew that we needed a guy in that top 6. We knew that we needed somebody to bring in there, and obviously it's been Emmett Finney. But once they get healthy, once you get Patrick Kane back, it's going to be even more nasty in those first 6.
And you brought up Emmett Finney. He played on the first power play yesterday and looked very good there. He really, for the first time since Patrick Kane's been gone, that power play actually had good movement. They were ripping the puck around. They were finding those holes. There was a couple times, and Larry Murphy said on the broadcast, they wish they were a little more aggressive shooting the puck. And the main culprit for that, in my opinion, is Lucas Raymond. But Lucas Raymond is still trying to find his way back from that injury. He still does not look 100%. However, the power play looks like it is finding their stride. I believe Ken Daniels said on the broadcast it is the same date where the power play started to elevate itself to the historical level that it was at last year. So hopefully it's the same this year where they take it, 10 games in and they really can find their stride and become that power play powerhouse that they were last year.
Yeah, and it was uncharacteristic to see them struggle the way they did at the beginning of this season, and we even saw it in the game at St. Louis. The power play looked so much better. They were maintaining the puck possession. They were passing the puck, moving it around very well, and they scored on the first one. And even though they didn't score on that second power play opportunity in St. Louis, it was a dominant shift. And so Emmett Finney has provided some juice to that first power play. It seems like Mo Seider's kind of settling in at running the point and distributing the puck and being that guy in the back end. I've seen him make a couple very nice plays to keep the puck in the zone on some of those power plays. So, it seems like everybody's calmed down a little bit. I don't know if they'll ever get back to what they were last year, but I don't know if they're going to have to, because obviously the 5-on-5 scoring has improved so much in this early stretch of the season. But you definitely need to be better than you were in the first, 5 games when they're at under 20%. But so far they have. So that's a good sign.
It's been a great sign for them. And another interesting thing that was done yesterday was McClellan tinkered with the blue line and changed the lines. He threw Seider back with Edvinsson. He put ASP with Sherratt and then Hamonic with Johansson, which has been the norm for the past couple games. How do you feel about that? I know that we both know how dominant they are together, but do you like them doing it at this point, and do you like how it affected ASP's play as well?
I kind of do. I mean, obviously, when you have both of those guys, Mo Seider and Simon Edvinsson, out there at the same time, the other team's not going to be able to cook a lot. Yeah, that really shuts down the ice, and it really allows the Red Wings to get their offense going when those two guys are out there, because the other team's not holding the puck in their zone and moving around and breaking through the neutral zone. So those guys shut things down. And as much as I love Mo Seider and Simon Edvinsson, it's really not in their game to be chippy. I mean, they're physical, but they're not going to go out there and punch somebody in the face. And Ben Sherratt will. And so you put Ben Sherratt with ASP to where we've seen him kind of protect ASP a little bit. Again, against St. Louis, ASP got blown up a couple times, and Ben Sherratt was there to help him up and to protect him. So you put the veteran with a young kid. That allows – I mean, Ben Sherratt has a goal in the past 2 games. That allows him to get more involved and him to do less in the offensive, where he's extremely, a huge liability. But when he focuses on that defensive side and really locks in, he could still be a top 4 adjacent defenseman. So I do like putting Mo Seider with Simon Edvinsson together, because those guys are just, when you have those two out there at the same time, you are so confident. Your whole team is flowing, and you are dominating puck possession.
And you threw it out there, the flow. Yeah. They play so loose and free when they play together. Like their games truly complement each other to a perfect level. Like yesterday, you saw how aggressive Mo Seider was able to be on some of his closeouts and how physical he was around the boards, like bodying guys off into the wall. That is stuff you don't see when he's playing with Sherratt. And Edvinsson, the same way, he's more offensive. You're seeing more of his game that is there, but he's kind of playing the safe route because he has ASP, and it kind of hinders both of them because they both are playing in a safe mindset, because this move also helped ASP. Mm-hmm. ASP played more free. ASP had more shots. He was moving across the blue line. He had a couple times where he skated the puck where he would have passed to Edvinsson and tried to make a play from his opposing blue line instead of skating the puck like he did a few times yesterday. I thought that was great to see at ASP, and I do like it. I'm curious to see if it continues. I know that Seider-Edvinsson pair will work out. We've seen it before, and we know how dominant it can be, but seeing if Sherratt can hold up as ASP's partner would be fantastic. It just reinforces the mindset that we're so close on this back end for really having our future D-core that is going to take us to the promised land.
Absolutely. And like you said, it kind of brings out the best in all of those guys. Because when Mo Sider has Ben Sherrod up there, he has to be the guy initiating the offense from the blue line. He's got to be the guy controlling the puck and moving around. But when Simon Edvinson's his pair, Simon can do that. So that frees Mo up to just be that defensive, lockdown, physical guy and go out there and blow people up. And like you said, the same with ASP. When ASP has Edvinson up there, then he's like, okay, he wants to use some offense too. He wants to do this. But when he's with Ben Sherrod, it's like he's not moving the puck. He's not doing anything offensively. That's me. That's what I have to do. He's going to be the stay-at-home, lockdown, back-end guy. I'm going to be up in the break. I'm going to be helping initiate some offense. And that lets them play to their strengths. That lets them go out there and, like you said, play more free and do what they like to do. And especially the confidence of Mo Sider and Simon Edvinsson when they're playing next to each other, it exudes on the ice because they know, if I fuck up, I've got another 6'4" freak with long arms and a huge stick behind me that's going to make a play. So that allows them to take gambles on hits, on offensive zone opportunities, and that just lets the rest of the team play more confident as well. Knowing they imagine being the forwards out there and knowing your back end is Mo Sider and Simon Edvinsson. You're forechecking aggressively. You are crashing the net. You are doing everything. You are making sure you get behind that puck and get behind that net and win those battles because you know your back end is locked down. Pause.
And our boy Shareman99 is pissed because he turned off the game after the goaltender interference goal, thinking the game was over, went to bed, and then woke up to realize that we won.
Yeah, I think that's what my dad did too. Yeah.
Kyle also he recorded it for a nice doubleheader tonight, so hopefully that's a nice night of hockey for him.
Very
as
nice.
That first game ended up in a very nice way. But we got to get to Cam Talbot. Cam Talbot made big save after big save last night. I know it doesn't reflect it with the 3 goals against that he occurred, but when you take those penalties at the end of the third period and you put yourselves in that type of situation where you are relentlessly being attacked in the offensive zone for 5 minutes straight with mirages of shots, and especially the way that they were getting them, they were all screens, tips, high slot opportunities. Like those are all A-grade opportunities. Cam Talbot can only save so many, and he did. Like if you were to go back into the third period and you were to count the graded opportunities, he made more saves than he let in, especially in overtime, especially in the shootout. And you're seeing how a fresh Cam Talbot can really make an impact on this roster. And it's the fact that we have 2 goalies that if you don't overwork them and you really play them in the true platoon, then they can really be a force in your back end. And that's such a great thing because you've seen these games from Talbot and you've seen these games from Gibson as well. Like having multiple games we're getting to a pretty decent sample size at this point, that if you keep them rested, they're going to perform. And that is awesome.
Yeah, it really is. And that's what you knew. That's what you expect. Like both of these guys are over 9-1 save percentage for their career. You know they have it. You know they can make plays, but they're both old as dog shit. So you can't just put one of them out there and say, this is our goaltender 1. He is going to be getting every game. No, you platoon them. And when one's hot, you ride the hot hand, and then the other one will come in and give you some reprieves. So, yeah, Cam Talbot was amazing, especially in that third period and the overtime and the shootout. Like, he was making saves after save. And as you said, the Red Wings really, really tried to give that away last night in the third period, giving up a 2-goal lead, end up surviving by the skin of your teeth on a goaltender interference in overtime. But it was a good performance by Cam Talbot. He won them that game last night. He really did, because the team fell flat in the third period, and obviously, like you said, a couple penalties that makes things really difficult. But if it wasn't for him, that one could have been over quick.
Yeah, it definitely could have. And then in the shootout as well, he absolutely robbed. Who was their first shooter? Oh, I don't remember.
Where he slid across with the glove? Yeah, that was
yes, and just windmill glove hand. That was so beautiful. Sorry, it's hard to remember when we don't do the show right after the game. However, I mean, and then just stood tall. The other 2 as well weren't the greatest shot opportunities by the Kings, but he read them all the way, had them read like a book, especially Corey Perry's. Corey Perry literally had no room to
I
shoot.
can't believe Corey Perry was one of their top 3 options
I
too.
know. I couldn't believe Anze Kopitar didn't
Yeah.
go. Dude, he used to be
And
disgusting in
like, come on,
shootouts.
it's his last season. Let the Gray Bush go out there and try to snipe one. Like he's still got it in him.
Yeah, I don't know about sending Fiala out too. Yeah, no Kempe. Oh yeah, it was Kempe. Kempe was who
Yep.
he stoned, which that's a great player right there.
Hmm.
He was all over the ice. So was Quentin Byfield, which I was unfamiliar with how good Quentin Byfield was until last night. He really was carrying the play for the Kings. I just the way that game went, where you just died in the third period essentially. Cam Talbot keeps you in it. You go into overtime. You get the goaltender interference, and then you or before overtime, and then the goaltender interference, and then you send out ASP, which ASP is like I love the fact that ASP plays every single time, first one out of the
Oh
bench
yeah.
in overtime.
Oh yeah.
It's so good to see.
So smart.
He's perfect in overtime,
Hmm.
especially with two good defensive forwards in Raymond and Larkin. Like that's a really nice pairing, and they had the puck the whole time. That's
Yeah.
all you can ask. When you have the puck the whole time in overtime's all puck possession. That is a perfect start. And then we go through overtime. They get a lot of good chances. Both goalies are staying on their head, and just to be able to pull out a win in that gritty of a game when you essentially lost the game and get called back. I mean, that's hopefully the epitome of this Wings team that we're getting to. I mean, we won't know until we know. I think when's a fair time where we can make that claim where we know that this team just is very gritty and bounces back. Are we like halfway point, fourth way point?
Yeah, I would say you'd need at least another 10 games. I think they need to hit a true skid because it's going to happen at some point in the season.
Yeah.
But when they drop, 4 or 5, or if they lose 3 in a row, then I'll see how they bounce back because you lose back-to-back games. Who cares? That's not a streak. That's not a slump. That's just hockey. So you go out there and when you've hit your first actual skid of the season where you have some bad matchups or a rough road trip and like I said you lose 4 or 5 or something like that, then I want to see how they bounce back because they still are young. And even the guys that you are expecting to carry this team are young. When you look at Raymond and Sider and Edvinson, like obviously now you have very good veteran kind of filters outside of Larkin and DeBrincat. When you look at JVR, who was playing well, Appleton obviously has played very well. Ben Sherratt has looked like the best he has in a winged wheel so far this year. So it's a good mix of both, and that's why I don't think we have to worry about them just packing it in or crying or completely imploding if they lose a couple games. And also, Tom McClellan's not going to let them do it. He's not going to let them fall apart.
No, and he ripped him a new asshole like a couple of days ago
Yeah.
before he switched all the lines before this road trip, and they came out and they responded, and that's one thing I love about Ty McClellan. I can't lie, he's so in tune with when he needs to get the boys fired up and get the boys refocused, and that's a skill that you have to have, and he's a leader of men. He knows how to lead, and that's a quality that I love on him. Couple other notable performances last night. I hate to say it, but Johnny Burgers played solid last night.
He
Okay,
did. He
he
did.
played solid. He's getting in the gritty areas. He's throwing the weight around a little bit. I gotta give credit where credit's due. Soderblom, if he could just I don't know what it is about his game, but he needs to play more physical. But just there's just something else that's missing. Like, he has some of the grossest hands, bro.
He
I'm
really
telling you.
does.
He every once in a while he'll pull it out, and you're like, oh my god, what was that?
Do that more
Like
often.
yeah, when he poked it past the D, I was like, how can you not do that every time? You're
By the
so
way,
long.
real quick, did you see the Philip Forsberg penalty kill where he flipped the puck over the 2 guys, kept it? Insane stuff. It was a one-man penalty. You saw that?
That was insane. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
But yeah, I don't know what it is. There's just something more that needs to be unlocked about Soderblom that will help him stay in the lineup every day. But
That's why
right
he's a
now,
7th-round pick,
yeah, 100%. Well, I mean, is it too much to ask for him to be half of Emmett Finney? like
No?
Because he has the upside. There's something in his game he's really got to figure out. All right, so we turned to net. Gibson's return to Anaheim. I'm curious if Mrazek's going to start or if it's going to be Dostal. My guess would be Dostal.
Yeah.
Anaheim's been playing well this year. They've got a really good mix of vets and young players that has been leading the charge. They picked up Kryler in the offseason. They have what's that big defenseman's name? He's a really big a-hole and he throws the weight. I mean, obviously they have Truba. So they play physical. Like this is going to be a test. Like they have some big physical defensemen in their back end. They're led by McTavish, Gauthier, Carlson. Like they got some nice young guns there as well. Dostal's great in net. It's going to be a test, especially coming off the back to back. It's a very hard thing to do, especially going to overtime on your back to back. How are you feeling about this game? I think this is a critical game in the series because if you win this game, you don't have to worry about the tired legs for the rest of the trip. And you have two more games to play Vegas. You play San Jose. San Jose is obviously a very winnable game.
Vegas.
However, it's going to be your third game of the road trip. You don't want to be going into Vegas 1-2. You really got to win one of these next two games.
I agree. And this is a tough team. This is a tough team to go up, like you said. Yeah, Leo Carlson, he is a great player. McTavish is going to give you some fits. And the back end
I forgot about Troy Terry, too. Terry's.
And the back end of that defense, they're big, they're physical, they're going to lay some hits, they're going to not let you just enter the zone freely, so you're going to have to work for it. And like you said, especially coming in with tired legs off of an overtime, I'm going to need to see these guys skating hard and skating with a purpose. And I think that's what it is. If they go into the neutral zone, if they're just trying to chip it in and dump it in and go, it's not going to work. It's not going to be a good night for them because of the physicality that the Ducks play with, the size they have on their defense, and the Red Wings coming off of a back-to-back. They need to skate hard and take the puck into the zone with control to set up their offense, or it might be a long night.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%, and they have to establish that early.
Yeah.
Anaheim's coming off a huge rest period. They haven't played since Tuesday. In this type of swing of back-to-back versus long rest, earlier in the game, I'd rather be the team with less rest because they are acclimated. They're ready to go. So you're gonna have to jump on them early. You're gonna have to get because later in the game, that's when the legs are gonna start to go, and Anaheim's gonna find them. And you'll probably see it in the game. It'll probably be sometime late in the second period where the Ducks might come with a ferocious attack and really be have us hemmed in like LA had us in our zone in the third period last night. That wouldn't surprise me at all. Anaheim is going to find their legs at some point. You have to have the game in control by that point. So you can sit back. You can just play your game. You can play dump and chase. You can sit back. You can close off the house because they did a great job of that last night. Again. Yep. Like on top of Cam Talbot playing well, the reason he's playing so well is also because the defense continues to get pucks out of the middle, block shots, all those little details, making sure there's no screens. That is why Cam Talbot was playing so well last night, and the defense deserves a lot of credit for that because they were doing a great job clearing the middle.
They were, and like you said, that is the key is to. You get a couple goals in that first period. You kind of jump them and blitz them with your offense while they've been, resting for a while. That'll set you off nice. And then when I'm looking at the third period, I'm looking at guys like Emmett Finney, guys like Soda, guys like ASP to use their youth, to use their young legs, to take advantage of that and be forced because it's inevitable that guys like Dylan Larkin and James Van Riemsdyk and Ben Sherratt and even Mo Sider are going to fall off a little bit because of the length of the game they played last night and the amount of minutes that a Larkin or a Sider puts out there. So Emmett Finney, Marco Casper, ASP, those are the guys I'm looking for to bring you home in the third period. And you're gonna need to get off to a nice lead early, which is very possible because it's not like the Ducks are this superstar team. I mean, they've got a lot of good pieces, but they're very gettable. So if you can put two in early, I like your chances.
Yeah, they're very inconsistent. They play high scoring affairs that go 7-6, or they play low scoring.
It's because they don't have an identity. They don't have they want to be this physical team. But sometimes it just doesn't happen. And
their young guys aren't physical. Like it's a very different smoothie than what the Red Wings have. Like the Red Wings have the physicality coming from their young guys. the Ducks have it coming from their vets, from
Yeah.
the Trubas, from the Dubases, like all those guys. That's where it differs. But I wish they had the goalies out right now. It says it's gonna be Dostal. Dostal's very good. He's
Yeah.
why they traded Gibson, and they were comfortable giving away a guy that's a career 9-1 save percentage, who has been in that franchise for years. He's been a part of all their success over the recent history of that franchise. So I'm curious how he's going to feel going into tonight. I'm glad that they did what they did. That was also a homecoming for Talbot last night. Talbot used to play for the Kings, so
Mm-hmm.
letting Talbot have his homecoming with the Kings, then giving Gibson the reins. I
And
think
that's what I'm
Gibson's going to
looking
play a
at
great
too.
game.
Like Gibson, this is the guy that replaced you. This is the guy that this team felt you were expendable because of him. You got to go out there and outperform him for 60 minutes.
Yeah, and if the Red Wings win this game, it will be a fantastic performance out of John Gibson.
Yeah.
He's going to need to. I mean, especially the way that the Wings at long stretches of that game yesterday got outplayed and outshot, and Cam Talbot won him the game. So Gibson's going to have to do the same thing because there's no way they're going to be able to repeat the legs that they had in this game against the Kings. I do think Gibson's going to have a great game. I think regardless of what his stats say, he's got an 8.76 save percentage right now. I don't think that truly tells you how well he has been playing. The 4-2 record does. He's made big saves in games that he's been peppered with shots on, and he's been really clutch. Like honestly, it's been crazy how clutch he's been. There's been a few times in a few games where I'm sitting back and I'm like, oh shit, here we go. And he's becomes a stone wall, and it's so it's actually so amazing to have a goalie back there that I can have confidence in, and I
Mm-hmm.
can't imagine what it does to the Siders of the world, the Edmondsons of the world, who have been sitting here with Billy Husso back there for the last 3 years, and Alex Lyon, and now they have two very solid goaltenders who I think Gibson's going to have a masterclass today, and that might be crazy, but I'm big on the homecoming game. I think there's a lot of aspects of what you said where, all right, Gibson, you're gonna let him show you up,
Yeah.
kick you out of town, go piss on his front lawn.
Hey, we're live, guys. Yeah, it's something that you need to see. It's something that you need from him, and like you said, that is something that you'll get from a veteran. That is something that you can kind of. I don't want to say pencil in, but especially goalies with how weird these guys are, these things mean a lot to them. So seeing the kid that kind of took your spot is not going to be nothing for him. That is going to be in the back of Gibson's mind. So hopefully he can use that to put out his best performance so far this season.
And the Red Wings are currently leading the Atlantic Division in the standings right now. They have 16 points, tied with the Montreal Canadiens. I'm kind of confused how we have the tiebreaker in that scenario,
Yeah, they beat us
considering
head
we
up.
have
Maybe they have more
yeah,
overtime.
they have no overtime losses. I don't know. That's even above my pay grade right there.
Maybe like
I don't understand.
strength of schedule. Because at the beginning we played, like four of the best teams in the league. I don't know. You would
But
think it goes.
our playoff percentage has risen to over 50% for the first time this season by the analytics.
Look out.
That's good to see. So look out. I don't think we're gonna stay where we're at right now. Like you said, there's a spill coming at some point that's gonna bump us down a couple slots. Because I can't lie, the Maple Leafs being last in the Atlantic, I don't think that's gonna stay for very
Probably.
long. They got.
Maybe. Maybe.
I mean,
Maybe
maybe
Mitch Marner was
Marner.
that important.
He could have been, but I do think like with that level of talent, they're gonna figure
I
something
mean,
out.
Austin
I
Matthews
would be
is a bitch.
surprised. That is true.
He's really good,
Panthers
but he's a bitch.
Panthers and Lightning have been struggling to find consistency. They're right outside the Atlantic playoffs right now. The Sens have been playing very good hockey. It's going to be a very tight race. The other side, the good thing what you're hoping for, because the Capitals imploded on the cusp for years. They almost had it. Then they reinfluxed the talent last year with a great free agent class, which held them to first in the Eastern Conference, but they're still like hindering on
They're
breaking.
teetering the edge for
And they're
sure.
so close. And so the Capitals being out of their division rankings is good to see. The Rangers continuing to not be able to figure it out is great to see. They have chemistry issues out the wazoo. And then the Blue Jackets, I don't think that the Blue Jackets are at the level that the Wings are at. I truly don't. From watching them play this year, I don't think that they're as complete or have the high-end star power that the Wings have, or the goaltending.
I agree. I think Washington they're playing for Ovechkin right now, and obviously he wants to get to 1,000 goals, so he's going to be in there for a little bit longer. But they, like you said, they are teetering the edge. They are on the brink of complete and total collapse. And I called it with Pittsburgh. Like I knew that was going to happen. I said Pittsburgh and Washington, obviously, like Boston too, is in that where your stars are aging. Like how long is fucking Gino and Sid gonna still do it? Like they've only got a couple years left, and obviously Ovechkin's just in there until he gets to 1,000. So the old guard of the Eastern Conference is falling apart, and that's a perfect time for a youthful Red Wings team to kind of slide in there and establish themselves as a playoff contender and a playoff lock for a couple years now.
Exactly. And just a hypothetical question to ride us out on, because I think it's interesting. Hypothetically, if you were to sneak in this year as the 8th seed, who would you want to play in the first round?
Florida. I mean, is that if they don't have Barkov and Kachuk, I think that's the team I want. I don't know if they're going to be there.
I think they have. There's no way they don't have one back.
You think?
Which is going to be Kachuk.
I don't want to see Montreal. Florida or Toronto. I mean, I think if you can get a Cats team that's down possibly 2 of their best players, or the Toronto Maple Leafs in the playoffs, like those are the 2 teams that if we were the 8th seed, I expect, those guys are going to be at the top of the conference like they normally are. So it's crazy. It's crazy to see.
I think the Leafs.
Kachuk is back in December, says Mr. Bentley. I don't know if that's true.
I think the Leafs.
I doubt he's back in December.
I don't know. I thought it was like January.
It was he might get back for the playoffs.
Yeah, I thought it was like, he might play in like the end of the regular season type beat. I would probably say the Maple Leafs. I like how we match up against them. I think that their decor is not great and Stolarz is inconsistent. So if I'm like targeting a team that we could beat, I think the Maple Leafs would be it. But that's going to do it for us. Woodward Wings. Shout out to you guys for tapping in. Great showing today. We'll keep. What are we going to do about tomorrow?
I mean, I'm going to come home from the bar at probably the same time this game's ending. If you want to do a hammered post game.
I mean, I will be as well. I will be coming back from, celebrating some Halloween.
So
we can do that, or do it in the morning.
I can't do it tomorrow because I'm moving tomorrow. But
okay.
I'd be down to do a hammered one at 1 a.m.
Congratulations. All right, sounds good. We'll plan on that.
All right.
We'll audible if we have to, but hopefully you guys get a stream. We'll do our best to stay sober enough for it. But this has been Woodward Wings. Shout out to the Red Wings, man. 16 points, top of the Atlantic Division. We're dialed. We're running California like a drum. All right, we'll see you in the next one. Go Wings.
Peace.
Peace.